Hey y'all, if you're a bass fisherman especially, but this will work for any kind of fish, I have something I want to get across to y'all that will help you more quickly maybe find fish, establish patterns. It's something I've done for years and years. It's a great go-to, and I'll share that with you in just a minute. This is Hickbilly Outdoors with D.W. Verts. I'll be right back. So, first off, I'm not really a tournament fisherman anymore. I don't travel around. I don't fish a lot of reservoirs. I don't even have a bass boat right now. It's just my choice. Probably again someday, Lord willing, I stay healthy enough. So who am I to be telling anybody anything about fishing? Well, I'm nobody. I fished tournaments and guided for over 20 years. Semi-professional to professional enough, I'd claim 80% of my income came from fishing. That don't mean nothing either. It's just what I did. I've won 50 some odd tournaments over the years, nothing major. I've won some bigger tournaments, but I've also lost a lot more. But I fished for a lot of years, and the biggest thing is I'm not very often confused by what bass are doing and what's going on. Once in a while, it still happens, but it's some knowledge that I've gained. I'd like to share it. Now, this is my opinion. It's worked for me a lot of places. It's something I have not seen in any videos. I've been watching these videos trying to think of new things I can come across and tell you guys, and this is something I haven't heard anybody talk about. It's all about finding fish. Wherever you're at, no matter what, you got to find a bass or a crappie or a walleye or whatever first. Now, this thing I'm going to tell you about works for all kinds of game fish. It works for highland reservoirs, not so much river run stuff. I mean, not so much riverways. Swamp stuff, natural lakes, not as true, except what the bait fish dictate to you. So it's this simple. I want you to understand how simple this is. You're going to a lake you never fished before, or maybe your own lake, and you're confused about what to do. It's this simple. It's easy. You can eliminate almost half a lake, basically, by figuring that in this winter and spring, bass are on steeper banks, 45-degree bluffs, basically. In the summer and fall, they're on the flats. There you go. You're welcome. Okay. Seriously, here's the deal. It's not about the bass, it's not about the crappie or walleye, it's about the bait fish. That's where the bait fish are. Why? Who knows? Does that mean in August I can't go to a bluff and catch bass? Of course not. There's always exclusions, exceptions, whatever. There's no written stone anything with anything in life, much less fishing, especially bass fishing. But if you will look at a lake and pick the time of the year that matches what I'm talking about, and you stick with the flats in the summer and fall and the steep banks in spring and winter, you'll do better. You're eliminating a lot of things for numbers of fish, for finding good solid patterns. So, Bodeo, I catch bass 25, 30 foot deep in the summertime. Yeah, but you'll catch more of them on a flat 25 and 30 foot deep. And bluff points that work so good into April, not as good. Not as good. Not that it won't work. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I am saying across the board, if you'll stick with flats in the summer and fall, steeper stuff in the winter and spring. Well, what about spawning flats? Okay, there's transition fish. Those fish on those 45-degree chunk rock and pea gravel banks all over the country, everywhere I've ever fished, from pretty far down the southeast all the way up to, well, I never have fished north of Missouri, so I don't know. But I bet you the same, because bass are bass. They spawn on some of those 45-degree banks, but you'll find the first little pockets off those 45s where start transition. That summer transition flatter banks begins with the spawn. Does that make sense? It's all about the bait fish. It's about the food. Oversimplifying is good, because if you were to go to a new lake, Dale Hollow Lake. I've never been there. Dale Hollow. I just grabbed that because my name happens to be Dale, and I'm not Hollow. Dale Hollow. If you go today, it's the third week of September. I know there's smallmouth, and smallmouth are a little different, okay? So this gets all confusing, but if you go fish those flats and those creeks and the flatter, you look up the lake. One side of the lake is like this, and one side's like this, right? Get it? This time of year, I'm going to fish this bank. Before I fish this one, looking for patterns, looking for numbers of fish, I'm on the flats because that's where the shadow is going to be. And I bet you up north, that's where the alewives are. I mean, it's been the same everywhere. Even, you take the swamp guys. In the wintertime, I bet you're fishing closer to channels. You're fishing closer to ledges. I guarantee it. You may be still fishing 3-foot flats, but you're closer to the deep stuff because the water temperature is now in the 50s and 60s instead of the 70s and 80s and 90s. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. I just know I fished a lot of tournaments on a lot of lakes, guided a lot of places. Simplify. Steep in the winter and spring, flatter in the summer and fall, and it really does work. The transition to go between channel swings, what's a channel swing? But a channel leaves that bluff, leaves that steeper bank, and goes into a flat. Or the cool ones where the channel's out in the middle of the lake and makes that turn, it's still the same underneath the water. You got steep to flat, and that's where a lot of them ledge fish come from. That's a lot of them secret spots are. I just don't think it's that complicated. Just think about it next time you're going on a lake somewhere. Think about it if you're trying to figure out new water especially. Because when I used to tournament fish, I'd go to a lake I haven't ever been to or hadn't been to in years. So I'd get my map out and say, well, I'm going to go this part of the lake because this is going to make the most sense for this time of year and for the patterns that work those times of year. Okay? In the wintertime, I am in Missouri here especially, I am fishing bluffs. I'm fishing 45-degree chunk with a P mixed in, is always good, but I'm fishing steeper, more vertical stuff. Now, when you catch fish on flats in the wintertime, they're always near that deep water and they're biting. They're up there in the little flat, they're eating. Okay? That's just all there is to it. Missouri, central part of the country here, that transition, it changes no matter what. It's all water temperature oriented for the most part. I've caught them on those flats all the way in December. And when they're on those flats in December, they're big and they're eating good. But generally, around our deer season, middle of November, they start transitioning to the steeper stuff. At least the numbers of fish that I'm trying to catch, not the fish that live. I need a whole video on homers, gomers, roamers, and all that other, because there are fish that just don't move. There's fish that never quit moving. Okay? So, if you're on a bluff lake, Havasu, somewhere out west, I get it, a lot of that, but I'll bet you, I would bet, I've never fished any of those lakes out there, but I'll bet you if you can get on the flatter stuff this time of the year in the summer and fall, even if it's 60 foot deep, the flats, those long tapering flat points that fall off in the channel way out off there are going to be better this time of year and in the fall than the steep bluff points that fall straight off for numbers of patternable fish. Smallmouth notwithstanding, and Kentucky's spotted bass or wherever they're at, they're just crazy. So guys, I hope that makes some sense. I'll probably stir up some controversy. I don't care. This worked for me for finding fish quicker than anything else, is to cut the lake basically in half. You know, a given. There's some lakes have more flat stuff. But you take that little bit of advice and see if it doesn't work for you. Give it a thinking. I have not heard anybody talk about this. It seems pretty simple to me. I'm done. That's all I got. I'm going to go cry somewhere else now. My back's killing me. Guys, I'm Dale Verts. I'm a no count, never have been nothing, hickbilly, not a hillbilly. We got to keep that established. I ain't no hillbilly. Hillbillies can't do the stuff I do. I just want to help you guys and trying to make some impact with this channel. If you like what I'm talking about, let me know. If you don't like what I'm talking about, don't be nasty. Make comments. Maybe teach me something, because you never quit learning fishing. You quit learning fishing, they're fixing to have your funeral, okay? God bless you guys. Good luck with your fishing, all your outdoor endeavors. We'll talk at you later.